Alright you guys, you have been asking where I got my cash envelopes from, and the truth is that I actually made them. I think that they may look better in the photos than what they do in real life, but you've been asking me where did I get them from, how did I make them, so let me show you. Hey, and don't forget, if you want to learn how to budget better and demolish debt, have heaps of frugal fun along the way, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell so you can be notified when our new videos drop. We have heaps of new video content in the works for you guys, so you can live the champagne lifestyle you want on whatever kind of passion pop budget you've got. Alright you guys, now before we get started, full disclosure, I am not an artsy crafty kind of person. So these cash envelopes do what they need to do, but they are made from leftover bits and pieces that I have found lying around the house. Now I do have some really cheap alternatives for you guys, so I've been able to put a bit of a cost breakdown together, but you can make these out of whatever you have. Okay, so everything that I used to make my cash envelopes actually came from Kmart. This is their $10 planner, and I picked this one simply because it has a press stud clip, which I really like. I took the planning inserts out. I did keep some of the plain paper in the back and the notepad, just so that I can jot down things like how much cash that I want to pull out. And then I simply made the envelopes from bits and pieces that I had lying around. Let's move that one out of the way. So that is $10 planner from Kmart in Australia. I'm pretty sure they still have the same design at the time that I'm making this video, but if they don't, just have a look around for a planner with a clasp that has the inserts that you can take out and whatever you call this bit. I don't even know what you call it. Alright, so let's have a bit of a close-up look at the actual envelopes that I made, and then I will show you guys how I made them. So I'm going to get that out of the way. Alright, so I've been using these envelopes for quite a few months now. They're holding up okay, but I'd probably replace them every, say, 6 months. I don't actually know how long I'm going to get out of this before I lose the tab on the top, but it is actually just made out of cardstock dividers that go in a binder. I had a few of those lying around that I wasn't using, so I just basically cut them out of that. That's why you can actually see the holes cut into the top part of the tab, because I'll show you how it sits on the cardboard dividers at the moment. But all things considered, they are holding up pretty good, considering they are made out of fairly flimsy cardstock and a glue stick, essentially. But they are, you know, if I bring that in a little bit closer, they are holding up fairly well, all things considered. You can probably see on the lighter coloured ones a little bit better. They are starting to wear just on that fold. So this is a top fold with the opening on the top, a top opening envelope. I think next time I make them, I'm actually going to try making them with a side fold so that they actually open out this way, just so they're a little bit easier to use in the wallet itself. But I've seen them done both ways. I tried this way. Next time I will try opening along the side here and see if that's any better. Okay, so all I used to make these was just a few things that I already had lying around. So I had some cardboard dividers. These are a packet from Kmart that I picked up. These are $1 for 10, so not very expensive at all. Just make sure that they're the cardboard ones and not the plastic ones. So $1 for that. I had some scrapbooking paper, just some fancy paper lying around that I was going to use. You can pick this up for a couple of dollars at Kmart, and they were I just used paper that I already had, which was cute. And the only thing that I actually went out and bought were the stickers. This was $3 from Kmart, so in total $17 if you bought everything new. Otherwise just use up stuff that you already have around the house. I bought the stickers because I don't have super fancy beautiful handwriting, but if you had really nice handwriting, you were good at calligraphy or something like that, you could probably just handwrite your labels. You probably wouldn't have to buy the stickers if you didn't want to. The only other thing that I really needed, which I already had, were scissors, a hole punch, a ruler, pencil, and a glue stick. Alright, so let's get started. This is one of the dividers from that packet that I just showed you, and all I've done is trace my template onto the cardboard. I know this is a bit hard to see because it's actually the same color, but I made a template and I used the same template just to cut this same thing out over and over again. And all I do is basically just sit it on the paper, trace around it, and I do that for each one of the envelopes that I want to make. If you want to get a copy of this template so that you can cut them out yourself, then head over to my website. I will link below in the comments with the direct link, and you'll be able to just download this yourself, print it out onto an A4 piece of paper, and then just cut it out and use it to make your own cash envelope template. That's the piece of paper. We've traced around it, we've got our template on there, and then we have one that is cut out. So this is one, I did do all of this earlier just to make things a little bit easier. So once you've traced your template, then you are just going to cut it out. And I actually saved this little top section here because I did use that on the little labels that I made. So I cut out some of the scrapbooking paper, and then this solid color here is just cut off one of the offcuts of some of the paper that I had left over. So once you've cut out your piece, then you'll be left with something that looks like this. The hardest part now is looking at it this way. We have a short section down this end and we have a longer section up this end. The only really tricky part to this is I measured 1 centimeter up from the fold here and then folded that over, and that is so I can glue this down and put the holes through this part, and that just made the envelopes just a little bit more sturdy where the actual holes punch through. So with your ruler, all I did was measure up from the folds 1 centimeter, and I marked it, and then I actually used the ruler to give a nice solid fold along there, and that is the beginning of our envelope. So this is one that I have already made, so you can actually see there's that little bit of excess that hangs over, and the hole punch, the holes for the planner actually go through that part just to give it a little bit more stability. And I've actually glued those two pieces together so that it's a little bit stronger in that section. Okay, so the next part to fold after we've folded that section is just simply to fold in the other end where the two tabs meet, and the 2 end pieces in as well, and then we are ready to glue. So all I really did was I glued down this section here up to that fold, just to give that part a little bit more strength where the holes go. We have a little bit of overlap on this one, which I just marked out so I could see how much I needed to glue. And tried really hard not to get the glue on the inside bit because I don't want to stick that down. And then that part glues there, and then just the bottom bit. Stop all of our cash falling out. Okay, and so that is pretty much it. The top flap gets left because that just folds down in the wallet just to keep the top part. The bottom bits are all glued, and we'll let those dry, and then next we just need to work out where the holes are going to go, and the easiest way to do that is to use one of the inserts out of the planner, and we just sit that along the edge. The envelopes that I've made are a little bit wider, but they are the same length, and so all I did was mark those out. And the easiest way to do this is to take the bottom off your hole punch, or if you have a singular hole punch you can actually see what you're doing. Alright, so with the bottom off it, I can see where I need to line my holes up. And I don't know if you can see that, but I've lined up the hole over that I've marked over the hole that's in the hole punch. And just and there you have it. That is the envelope essentially, and then it's just up to you how you want to decorate it. So I made little tags because I'm not particularly creative, just by cutting out a square of cute scrapbooking paper. I put some of the excess leftover paper on each one of those and stuck the lettering on. If you're good at calligraphy, you could do your own handwriting on your envelopes, and that's pretty much it. That just gets glued on now. Basically just tried to line it up as best I could in the middle of the envelope. And that is it. Like I said, they're not very hard. They're not terribly glamorous, but they certainly do the job. That is the top fold. Next time I make the next lot of envelopes, I am actually going to try a side fold, which will glue this section down and have this part here will be where it opens. I will probably need to redesign this a little bit to either shorten this section here or move the tabs down to meet up here. So I may redesign the template a little bit, but that's essentially it, guys. They're so easy to make. I literally made these in half an hour one day, just out of different bits of cardstock that I had lying around, and they've actually lasted really, really well. So that's it. Homemade cash envelopes. Really, really easy. Alright, so there you have it. That is how I put together my cash envelopes. Did this video help at all? If it did, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. And I want you to let me know in the comments if you are going to try to make your own cash envelopes at home. And if you do, why not head over to Instagram and tag me in a picture of your homemade cash envelopes. That would be super awesome. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and I would totally love it if you shared your cash envelopes creations with me. That would be awesome. If you do tag me in your pictures, I will be able to see them and I can give you guys a little bit of Insta love. There, I don't even really know what I'm saying, and this little bird is driving me crazy outside. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there are two little willy wagtails outside my window that obviously can see their reflection, and they are just smashing themselves into the window trying to fight off the other little blue bird. It is nuts. Oh, I know, I hear you. Check out these crazy little birds. Come on. What are you doing? Crazy little birds.